All right, let's talk about the Labor Department numbers and what they mean. Well, we learned on Friday that in the month of May, employers added 217,000 jobs, and that leaves us with an unchanged unemployment rate of 6.3%. This is Brent Schutte, our guy who does a deep dive every month into the data behind the numbers. You're senior investment strategist for BMO Global Asset Management. So paint the picture for us. Is it basically steady as she goes?
Sure. Every month I come in here and I look for something new to say, and this one was kind of boring in some ways. Steady, but boring. Remarkable. 217,000 was the number. The consensus estimate was 218. I don't ever remember economists being that good. The other thing that is interesting is that the revisions were only 6,000, which is really low, and I like to talk about revisions.
Was it up or down?
They were actually down, but not that much when you're talking about 138 million people. Two things that were really interesting. One, I guess a notable thing is that a couple months ago, I had, came on the show and talked about the fact that we had regained all the jobs that we had lost on the private side. With this number today, we have regained all the jobs that we have lost in aggregate. So that's when you add in government, which has been drawing down as we've talked before. The other thing is that this is the fourth straight month of 200,000 plus jobs, which is the first time we've seen that since 1999 on the total side.
Is there any data that looks about the shortage in skilled labor?
Sure, there is, and you actually get anecdotes. Last week, the Beige Book came out, and different regions are talking about shortages in skilled labor. The thing that would happen is that ultimately leads to average hourly earnings going up, which is scrutinized every month in this report because we've had a lack of inflation and a lack of earnings growth. And so if skilled positions are now actually in shortage, those people would be able to actually go in and demand a salary increase. This is starting to filter through, I think, and will filter through to other parts of the non-skilled workers. And you're seeing that actually the unemployment rate between people with less than a college degree, or less than a high school degree, I'm sorry, and a college degree is actually shrinking quite a bit. Historically, that has been a time where you've started to see average hourly earnings tick up.
Yeah, very quickly. Banks are lending again. I know you have some data on that.
Sure. It's really been interesting. I came into this year thinking that the economy was going to do quite a bit better. The one mechanism that's kind of kept all this Fed easing that everybody talks about from entering the economy has been that banks have been unwilling to lend in some cases, and consumers have been unwilling to borrow. You're actually now at a point where year over year, the first 6 months of the year, first five, bank lending is actually up 8.2% on a year over year basis. This would translate based upon history into about 6% nominal GDP growth, which would be a high for this recovery.
All right, Brent, we'll see you next month.
Thank you.